This is an R Media podcast.
Seeing you with a paintbrush, I think, is Wendy really painting that
I know,
house?
and people ask that, it drives me insane because we are. I think our homes are our autobiography. Somebody went to have lunch at that pub and they asked for a glass of rosé and they said, "We're sorry, Wendy Moore had a farewell party and we're out of rosé."
This episode is brought to you by Luxaflex, transforming homes with beautiful, functional window coverings designed to change your life and lifestyle. Today's set has been thoughtfully curated by OzDesign, sharing life with you since 1979. Welcome back to The Edit, the show about your style and your sanctuary, where we step inside the homes, habits, and headspaces of the people who help us live better. And who doesn't want more of that? Today's guest is someone who's spent her career helping Australians see the potential in their homes, sometimes before the owners can see it themselves. She's a longtime editor of Home Beautiful, a familiar face from Selling Houses Australia, and someone whose brain seems permanently wired to see what a house could be, not just what it is. Right now, Wendy Moore is juggling quite a few things. She's just finished renovating an investment property. She's watching Series 18 of Selling Houses go to air. And she's about to begin filming Season 19. And because she clearly enjoys a challenge, she's also started her own business. So today, we're talking renovation brain, reinvention, and why asking a busy woman, how do you do it all, might be the most annoying question in the world. Wendy Moore, I can't believe you are here with us on The Edit. How does it feel?
Home Beautiful it always feels like coming home. It's just one of those things that when you work on Home Beautiful, you become part of a family and you don't ever really leave.
Yeah, it's true.
If you meet someone, even if you never cross paths with them on the magazine, it's like you share something. It sounds a bit corny, but it's really true.
It is true. Because how long did you work on Home Beautiful?
13 years.
Gosh.
Yeah. Didn't feel like that long. I'd done other jobs that felt a lot longer that were probably 10% of that time.
Tell me why.
It's all about the people though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Did you start with the same team or did you collect people as you went along?
A bit of a mix. I inherited a really great team and then I kind of picked up a few people on the way, but we had very low turnover. So quite a lot of the people that I started working with at the beginning were still there when I left at 13 years. So, and if they weren't there, they were freelancing for us or they were, still in the industry and sending us stories or, there's always a connection. Yeah. Mm.
So I have to ask, why did you leave?
It was a funny thing because Home Beautiful was a real career moment for me, actually, because I think before then, and probably because I was a bit younger, all of my aspirations and goals were about what I wanted to achieve and what job I wanted and what I wanted to do next. And then I got to Home Beautiful and all of my ambitions became for the magazine, what we wanted the magazine to do and, what circulation and, when I first started, House and Garden was just smashing us and it was like, we're going to beat House and Garden. And
we still feel that way.
Yeah, it's so good. And I think that was there's a real release when your ambitions are less personal and it's more of a team.
Yeah.
And so I think it never crossed my mind that I would ever reach the end of my time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't till I got offered a job and up until that point, not that I'd been offered a huge amount of jobs, but it was just like, oh no, I'm so happy. I'm not even thinking about it. And I started to think about it and I thought, maybe it's time.
Mm.
And then a couple of weeks after I got offered another job, weirdly, you know how that kind of happens?
Yeah.
And that was at Foxtel and it was running all the lifestyle and suddenly I got really excited about what I could do and this whole new medium and I'd been working in TV and and I just thought, I think it might be time. And it was so emotional because it was it was my family, and I'd been there for so long, and we all knew each other. We'd all been through all of this stuff. I'd had my children, and lost my dad, and like all of these things that they'd all done the same kind of things. And then we did have we had a really great farewell party. And
What happened?
It was at a pub, and my claim to fame is the next day somebody went to have lunch at that pub and they asked for a glass of rosé, and they said, "We're sorry, Wendy Moore had a farewell party and we're out of rosé." We drank them dry of rosé. So
is that your drink of choice?
Yes. Well, not really. So maybe we drank them dry for a few things. I never thought that.
Oh, Wendy, look out.
Yeah.
Pubs of
It
Sydney.
wasn't just me. Obviously, it's just very good company.
Sounds like a great party.
And it's funny because I felt it was a big decision to leave, and I felt like I was kind of abandoning people. But actually what I found is after I left, there was a few people that were actually ready to go. And so maybe we were kind of staying for each other.
That's so true.
Yeah, it just kind of all happened at the same time.
Yeah. A piece of advice I was once given years ago was you can't ever stay for the people.
No.
But
that's
you do.
That's the only thing that keeps you there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you moved from Home Beautiful over to Foxtel, but I would say still in the same sort of genre.
Yeah, I mean, when I was first there, I was running the lifestyle channels, which was great.
Yeah.
And, it's the same. It's a funny thing where it's the same kind of people. So I feel like I was still with my people in a way that just love that content and get excited about a new show. And it's not just the shows that we make in Australia. It was also the shows that we were buying in from overseas. And, Alan Carr and Amanda were doing a new show. Everybody was excited.
I love
it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you get to watch a lot of TV, obviously. And I think also like similar to a magazine, and like you obviously know this, you spend your whole life thinking about what the reader wants, what's going to make them excited, what's going to make them turn that page. And
exactly.
It's similar with TV, what are they going to love? What kind of mood are they going to be in when they're watching this show?
Yeah.
What are they going to feel like watching next? How do we kind of make it feel nice for them to just kind of journey through the day with us? And it's a very similar mindset, I think.
What do you think viewers don't know about working in TV? What do you think are some things that would surprise people to go, oh.
I think it would surprise them just how much I'm on the tools.
I have wondered about that actually. Seeing you with a paintbrush, I think, is Wendy really painting that
I know,
house?
and people ask that, it drives me insane because we are. We're there doing it. And, they just get a few snippets of us, painting or knocking things down. I do love I love demolition. It's so much fun.
Would you say at this point in your life, is renovation your personality?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So how do you maintain the glamour while you're doing it? Because TV is glamorous.
I don't think selling houses is very glamorous. I think that's where we hang our hat. I don't think I would really be able to hold my head very high if I turn up to a build site wearing heels and lashes. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to.
No.
It's not going to get the work done. So, I think that's what I love about selling houses is that it's so real and it's so down to earth, and it's such a great team. It's similar to magazines. They're all there. They all want the renovation to look great at the end. And there's actually an episode this season that's in the middle of nowhere. It's like far north, Western Australia.
How do you get there?
Two flights and an hour and a half drive or something. It was long.
God.
Yeah, and it was so hot. And it was it's a little beach shack. Dennis and I had a real vision for what I wanted it to look like and what I thought we could do with it. And Dennis and I had chosen a colour together for the exterior.
Yeah, because Dennis is the exterior guy, your co-host.
Yes, Dennis is my co-host, and we do a lot of, make a lot of decisions like that together. We painted the house, and there was really not a lot of trades and there wasn't a lot of money, and it was really hard to get people there. So it was all hands on deck.
Yeah.
We painted the front of the house, and I just went, oh, I don't like it.
Oh, you
It's not
don't, you
right.
don't like it?
And I took Dennis across the road and said, please tell me you agree with me. And he was like, and Dennis is,
Oh,
he's a doer.
Wendy.
Like he's a task guy.
Yep.
He's like got a list of things to do and he's always panicking on day 2. We're not going to finish. And, so and I said, I think we have to change the colour. And he said, absolutely not. We do not have the time to change the colour. I said, I really think that we need to change the colour. I don't think that we can fix it. And he was really not very keen.
So who won?
I won because I said, let's just go and have a look at some other colours.
Yeah.
We'll go to the local hardware store. It was only like 45 minutes drive.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some sample pots. There's this great colour and it's, this is right on the water across the road from where the sun sets. Like it's bright orange, beautiful evening. And I thought I'm going to do a sunset house. And so it's really bright orange. And Dennis liked the colour. He didn't have a problem with the colour. He had a problem with the time. And I just said, I think we can do it. He said, well, let's just wait and see how we go with all the other things on his list. And I just went, okay. And then I went away and started painting the house because I knew once we'd started, we had to finish. You had to finish.
You have to keep going.
But it was so hot that we had to kind of paint around the house and follow the shade because it was too hot to paint it in the sun. I had all the runners, all the soundos, all the camera guys, all the producers, some of the locals, everyone was painting the house. And I took a little video like every single person had a paintbrush in their hands. But you know what? It looked amazing. It was the right thing
That's
to do.
Community.
It was.
That is community.
But that's the kind of crew that it is. Like there wasn't any grumbling. Everyone was on task and we all got it done. And that makes it so it's not glamorous at all.
That sounds like bloody good fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And it's high pressure, but a renovation is a lot of decisions.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of time to make the decisions and that actually makes it harder because you get a bit of paralysis but you can't afford that. You've got 4 days and you have to make a decision and if what you're going to do isn't going to work, you have to make a different decision in that moment and just make it happen, which is kind of fun, really.
And I love that for anyone listening, a really good piece of advice. If you want to paint your house a different colour,
just start.
Just start because you have to finish.
Make friends with your neighbours. Yeah.
So, Wendy, you have had such an incredible career working in other businesses, but actually you've started your own.
I have. Look, I was at Foxtel for 7 years and great job.
Yeah.
And I kind of ended up running not just lifestyle and so there was pretty much all entertainment. So anything that wasn't sport or news was in my group, which was great. You know, it's amazing to be able to work on drama projects and series and, things like High Country and Colin from Accounts, like amazing experience. But I think I kind of got to the point where I thought I had been working really hard for a really long time and I was pretty tired.
Yeah.
And I love doing selling houses and I love renovating and I had already kind of had a few things going on the side around my own business and I just thought I was loving it and learning a lot, but I think I was getting further away from what I really loved.
And what is that?
And it's interiors. It's not actually, I wouldn't say interiors, it's homes.
Homes.
As opposed to interiors.
And what is it about homes that you love?
And I think I always loved it, but I fell in love with it definitely at Home Beautiful. I think our homes are our autobiography. And, I wonder if you have the same experience actually. When you go out to home shoots and you meet the homeowners and you walk around, they don't tell you, I bought this from here or this cost this much or, this is that brand. Yeah. They tell you this table came actually from my mother-in-law and there's this, or that piece of art we bought when we were on holidays and it was a tiny little alley down the side street or my husband and I fought over that colour for a year and I finally won and look how beautiful it is. Like it's all a collection of stories.
Yeah.
And particularly for Home Beautiful, I've always loved real homes.
Yeah.
I haven't really loved looking at how the other half live, kind of high end, can never afford it.
Yeah.
And I felt like even if I had a lot of money, that's not really what I would do. So I've always loved real homes of real people and people who just love them and it's their story. So that's why I love them.
Have you visited any homes and taken ideas from them to put in your own place?
Oh, probably. I don't know if you can avoid it.
Yeah.
Now I've kind of done my house. There's a lot of things I wish I'd done after I see other people's houses. But
anything spring to mind?
There's just, I just think a kitchen design is never complete.
Yeah.
No matter how much you love your kitchen, no matter how much time you spend, and how great it is, you will always walk into another kitchen and go, oh, I really wish I did that. That's such a great idea. I wish I had an appliance cupboard that everything could hide in so I don't have to pull it out. So, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with selling houses. I think people make you feel more comfortable doing the things that you probably wanted to do anyway. Yeah. Particularly around colour.
Yes.
And
it's the reassurance.
It's the reassurance.
This is okay to do.
Yes, it actually looks good. And it's not exactly the same colour, but that's the way I think it'll work. So funnily enough, on selling houses, when I first got offered the role, it was a bit quiet and I rang a girl called Melissa Heath who used to be.
I know Melissa Heath.
Yeah, so
she's
she
great.
was creative director on Home Beautiful with me for years. And I rang her and said, I'm going to do a show. I can't tell you what it is. Do you want to do it with me? And she went, okay. And so we still work together.
That is trust.
She's just like, okay.
That is trust.
And so what I said to her is I want to approach every episode of Selling Houses the way we approached every issue of Home Beautiful. Is that I want it to feel new. Yeah. Like you want the covers, and I see what you do with the covers. Every single time I see it, I know it's a new issue and there's no risk that I've already read it. It's definitely a new look. And also I have this theory about when you renovate, you decide on what style you're going to get, and then you start chopping and looking things and you keep falling in love with other things. You're going to do whatever it is.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, now I want to do modern country. Oh, no, now I want to do mid-century, because you fall in love with things. People aren't always just one style.
No.
And you still do it in the magazine. You have this different look each time because that's what people want to see.
Exactly.
So I want every episode to have that same. I never want to reuse the same colours. I don't want to ever, if I do a white kitchen, it's because there's so much detail or colour around it that the white kitchen is the only thing that's going to work. Like it needs to be the things that people want confidence in and get inspired by.
Isn't it interesting? That's exactly how I approach the stories and the homes that we shoot and create, because I think it's our job to give people confidence to create homes however you want to.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what your budget is or what you love. Just have the confidence to do you.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, I see that and I know that's why I know you get it, because I see it in the magazine still. And I think I always used to say, I want people, after they read the magazine and watch the show, to fall in love with the possibilities of their own home over and over again. Because you see something and I wonder if you still get this, you use some old chairs and somebody goes, oh my God, my mum's got those chairs.
Yes.
I'm going to use them. They're going to be cool again. Look at that. And suddenly they feel, it all feels possible,
I think as well, when you're in your own home, you often become blind to, its flaws is an extreme way to put it. But when you go into a house on Selling Houses, can you see straight away the things that you think, that needs fixing?
Yeah, and I think we all do it. Like you create workarounds and things become comfortable. Yeah. And you forget how hard it was for you to get that workaround in the first place, but you forget that other people don't see that. Yeah. They don't have that level of comfort. And so when you buy a house, like if I buy a pair of shoes, I'll research, I'll go in, I'll try them on, I'll think about it, I'll go away, it's a process. Yeah. I buy a house, you go in, you do 2 walkthroughs and you make an offer. Like it's
so true.
Big purchase.
Biggest purchase of your life.
And yet you really don't have a lot of time to make that decision.
Yeah.
And so those kind of emotional reactions to a home are really powerful for that reason.
Yeah.
because you walk into a home and if the couch is smelly or, the bathroom's dirty, you get an emotional reaction which changes your feeling about the home. And people forget that. And there's nothing grosser than other people's dirt. Like my dirt's fine. Someone else's dirt, not cool.
Couldn't agree more, Wendy. Couldn't agree more. Oz Design blends style and practicality to enhance everyday living. The new winter collection embraces warm tones, sleek finishes, and smooth silhouettes, offering timeless pieces designed to transform your home throughout the cooler months. Thoughtfully curated, each piece layers comfort, character, and effortless style to create a welcoming, lived-in feel. Balancing form and function, the collection helps you create a home that feels truly yours. Whether refreshing a corner or reimagining your entire space, discover designs made to live in. Explore the winter collection in-store or online with Oz Design. Paula, welcome to The Edit. It's so lovely to have you with us and to talk all about trends.
Thanks, Elle. It's fabulous to be here.
I think trends are something that we both cover in our jobs a little bit differently, but I have to say it's always nice when it aligns, when we realise actually the trends we're both forecasting for 12 months ahead, they're the same.
Are the same, absolutely. I mean, I think with my role working with furniture and homewares and delivering products to everyone in Australia across different style types, you really need to understand the trends and where they're going and make sure they're relevant to how we live.
We notice with trends that quite often it's a pendulum swing.
Yes.
So we'll go from one trend, for example, maximalism. People will eventually start craving a more simple interior.
Yeah.
And then with colour.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's happening is we're sort of probably swinging back the other way a little bit, and colour and warmth and texture and tone and having a space that feels comfortable and inviting is probably where we're heading to, throughout 2026. So the intent is to sort of go from having a space that's cooler to something that's a lot warmer and a lot more comfortable, so you feel at ease.
And so let's get into that in more detail with colour. So colours such as greys, the really crisp white, those were quite popular, but
look,
now...
they still are, but they're probably too safe now.
Yep.
They're probably on their way out, I suppose. And look, you can still use those as your basis.
Yes.
But I think it's important to start to layer and start to add the comfort and warmth that is on trend, that is directional. And it can be as simple or as easy as a cushion, a throw rug, a new piece of art, a new quilt cover on your bed. It doesn't need to be necessarily a whole change.
The big piece. But let's talk about some of the big pieces.
Yeah.
What colours are you seeing coming in sofas?
So we're seeing a movement away from those greys and beiges to beautiful, rich, warm oatmeals. We're seeing loads of gorgeous khaki greens, mustards, terracottas.
Gorgeous.
And look, we really think that shift will start to continue and move into mochas and chocolates, burgundies. And look, you may not take burgundy, say, as an example and put it on your sofa, but it could become the perfect accent chair for you.
Absolutely. And let's talk about colour as comfort. You were referencing this before. These colours, they're warm, they're embracing, they really are comfortable.
Yeah, and look, they make you feel happy, I think. When you go to you gravitate to something that's warm and earthy, you feel a bit centred with it and you feel a bit relaxed with it. So it sort of enables you to walk into your home and feel a sense of, oh, I'm here, this is how I like to live, this is what I like to look at and feel comfortable in. And, for me, the home is really an extension of your personality. So I sort of think that how you see yourself from a fashion perspective is really how you want to present your interior to your family and friends.
Absolutely. We say that so often. Show me a person's wardrobe and I can tell you their decor style.
Absolutely. And I think you've got to not be scared of colour.
No, don't be scared.
I think you've got to embrace it. And if you are a little bit frightened of it, do it with small pieces.
Yes.
Just do it in a way that, it's a beautiful new marble tray on a coffee table, or it's a simple small vase that you add to your bedside table, or it is just a refresh of cushions and you're taking away the colours that were there for summer and you're adding a moodier, deeper tone in for winter.
Definitely. I have to admit I have a cushion wardrobe.
Me too.
What's in your wardrobe?
Look, my husband is not at all happy with it because it's sort of what I've done is I've got one set of inserts. So I then just literally will take those out and I'll sort of take summer away and bring winter in. He's still waiting for the perfect insert that doesn't give him feather pops, when he's lying down at night. But, for me, it's about just having a variety. Sometimes I look at my spare bedrooms and go, wow, do we really need 7 cushions on that bed? But it makes me feel good, so I like to do it.
Exactly. And also you are also the homewares buyer.
Yes,
so really,
so
it's your job.
Absolutely. It's my job to make things look fabulous and to sort of bring to life pieces that will look wonderful in anyone's interior.
So tell me, we touched on it, but what is your new business? What business have you started or evolved?
I've evolved the business that I've got called The Interiors Edit.
Yes.
And we've started kind of creating a lot more content.
Yeah.
I did a renovation last year of an investment home, which was actually the first home that my husband and I bought together.
Really?
And we lived there for a long time and then we bought our new home and then we eventually renovated that and we've kept it since then. So it's kind of our retirement plan, but we'd done a bit to it, but we didn't have the money to put a new kitchen in and it was at that stage on quite a busy road. It's not as busy now.
Yeah.
So we felt that we would overcapitalise if we spent too much on it. It's been 20 years now and I think I don't think I want to live in this house again.
Yeah.
So if I don't, who are we going to get to rent it? And, and how long are they going to stay?
If you don't want to live with your dirt that you like.
Exactly. If it doesn't feel like a home, we're not going to get people that will treat it like a home.
Yeah.
So we did that and then we had all these ideas about how to create content out of that and I don't know if you still do this. We used to do at Home Beautiful Inspiration Days where you just
Tell me about those.
We'd go off location, somebody's house generally because it was on brand.
Yeah.
And we'd just spend the whole day just talking about ideas. What do we want to do? What do we think the brand can do? What's happening with the readers? What's happening with the website? All of those things. Yeah. And then we'd come away feeling really inspired and with a whole heap of ideas that would kind of take us through. So I'm literally doing that with the Interiors Edit team next week to work out what we're doing next. And I'm scared, but I turned 55 this year and I think if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? And I've always wanted to, so it's time.
Do you do an inspiration day with your husband before you renovate a house?
No. That's a really good question. Didn't even cross my mind. No.
It's your way and he will go along for the ride.
Oh, God, no, absolutely not. That would not be lovely, but no. When we renovated our own home, he was heavily involved. He's got a great sense of style and
That's good.
And also he's a great cook. So he was very involved in the kitchen design and what he wanted it to feel like. And the renovation that I did last year, he left that to me. It was it was easier.
So how do you approach renovating an investment property differently to renovating a house that you want to live in?
I actually don't think I've changed the way that I do it. And maybe, I didn't spend as much, so that's probably one thing, which is a good thing. Different budget.
Did you stick to the budget?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
there were
good.
a few things that I did that I hadn't planned to do. I ended up putting air conditioning in and I did more in the backyard than I planned to do. And then in the end, because I added a bathroom, so it was one bathroom house and I added a bathroom and the original bathroom was pretty dodgy.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if I was going to have the budget to do that. And then actually it was Dennis he came down and said, we can do this. Let's just do it ourselves and we'll do it really inexpensively.
Getting you back for paint the house again.
Yeah. That's
We're going to do
what
it.
he did. And so that wasn't in budget, but we ended up doing it for probably $10,000, I think, which is pretty good.
That's a question I get asked a lot. Can you renovate a bathroom for under $10,000?
Well, obviously you can because we did it, but at the same time, you have to do a lot of stuff yourself.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have done it. There was a lot of things that Dennis did that he said.
He had the skills.
Yeah, he had the skills.
Yeah.
And so that I think probably if I didn't have him and I was managing myself, it probably would have cost maybe 15 or 16, which is still pretty
still
cheap.
very good.
But it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple bathroom.
Well, this is a nice segue because we have a listener question.
Oh, yeah.
So we do this thing called Room for Advice where people write in and we pair the questions with the guests.
Ah, okay. Yep.
We have. Now, Alex from Brisbane has written in and he has said, I've always loved renovating and lately I've been thinking about turning it into a business, flipping houses, but I'm nervous about taking the leap. I watch renovation shows and I think it looks amazing, but also terrifying. From someone who has worked in the renovation world for years, what advice would you give someone thinking about starting? I think flipping used to be a big, big thing, didn't it?
Look,
it
flipping
still?
is very risky. I would probably not advise many people do it because there's a lot of risks. Nobody can predict what's going to happen with the housing market.
No.
Generally you know that it's probably going to grow over a 10-year period, but in that 10-year period there's a lot of ups and downs.
Exactly.
You need to have the ability to reduce your costs. So whether that's through materials or labour or some sort of skills, that's where, you kind of reduce the risk.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think about all the extras like stamp duty and, your listing fees and then your real estate commission when you sell it and all of these things that kind of eat away at your profit margin.
Yeah.
I'm a believer that it's absolutely possible to make money out of flipping properties. It's really exhausting to live in properties that are in constant stage of renovation.
Oh, did you live in yours when you were renovating?
No, we couldn't because we knocked the whole back of the house
Yeah.
off, so we just couldn't live there.
Yeah.
And we had young kids at that stage. It was
Yeah.
never going to work. So, yeah. I think people underestimate how hard it is to do that over a long period of time. But I think if you've got the skills and you know that you can reduce the amount of money you have to spend in that way, I would say don't expect to flip things in a couple of months. Actually live in it after you've, you can renovate a house and live in it for a year or two and it still feels brand new to a new buyer.
Yep.
And that gives you some time to take a breath and look what's happening with the market and not feel like it's a fire sale.
Yeah.
So I think if you're prepared to take that time, you can definitely make money out of it.
Yep.
But it's hard. And even like we have great trades on the show.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to get trades to, work around your timeline because they can book it in and then something delays on your side and then they're like, well, now I've got another job and I can't come back for another 3 weeks. And so you have to have that flexible time frame, I think.
Well, we hope that helps Alex make his decision. Because I think renovating TV shows can make it look a bit easier, but then we have to remember often it's condensed into an hour and these are long processes.
Yeah.
Or in the case of selling houses, people have to sell their homes.
They have to.
They have to.
And these aren't really house flippers, they're in a life or a financial situations that means that they have to sell. And then, we do them in 4 days, but I have some time before that to kind of do some design and order, Mel and I would, work out what we want to do and order other things so that we've got them there. But we do have to finish it in 4 days. So I know it's possible.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of logistics and it's actually a lot of people.
Yeah.
We get trades in and we get help and like I said, the crew gets in and helps when we really need to. So you don't have that available to you when you're doing it by yourself. No. And, I've just done my own renovation. I certainly didn't do it in 4 days. So I know that it's possible on TV and actually to get a TV crew to do it when you've got all of that structure in place. But that structure
when you're by yourself,
expensive. Yeah.
Not so easy.
Not so easy. Yeah.
So Wendy, for Alex or anyone who is wanting to renovate and or flip houses, what are some first steps that you would advise?
Oh, look, they're pretty basic and not really newsflash, but the first thing is to actually do a budget and have a really clear idea about what you want to do. And I actually like to separate a budget into materials and labour.
Yeah.
Because some jobs are very labour heavy and some jobs are material heavy, and that gives you a better idea of what levers you've got to reduce your budget if you need to.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to go through and be realistic about what you're going to choose as your materials.
Yeah.
Do you want natural stone
Yeah.
or are you going to go for a laminate bench
Yeah.
top? You know, you have to be specific
Yes.
and have an idea about, well, I'm going to budget for laminate, but when I add stone, I have to understand that's going to add $4,000 or $5,000 to the
Yeah,
price.
exactly.
So I think actually going through and choosing your materials and working out how much they cost.
Yeah.
And even if you get the retail prices, that's kind of your worst case. And if you're working with a builder or interior designer, they can get better prices for you. So, you know, you've got a little bit of that there.
Yeah, good point.
So that would be my number one. My number two, and I'm a massive advocate for this, is make a mood board.
Who doesn't love a mood board?
I know, but I'm shocked at how many people don't make a mood board before they do a renovation. And I think a mood board is great for so many reasons. First, and we used to say this in the magazine, and I know people still do this, is go through the magazines, and we all keep our home beautiful. So go through, rip out all the pages that you like if you can stand doing that.
It's okay, you're allowed.
Yeah. No, rip out the pages everything that you really like and just have a pile of them.
Yeah.
And then sit in front of that pile and just kind of put them in groups, you know, colour groups or style groups, and you'll start to see which pile's getting bigger pretty quickly.
Yes.
You know, you might love mid-century, but everything you keep doing is modern country over and over again, you know, and you find out that your mid-century pile is like 2 centimetres high and your modern country is 10 centimetres high.
Yes.
So that kind of gives you an idea of what consistently appeals to you, and that gives you a bit of confidence. Well, that's obviously where I keep leaning.
Yeah.
And then so having all those images, and, you know, if you're looking online and things, just actually start to print them out or save them in your phone and have a little folder there.
Yeah.
I still think real pictures are better. They're better quality, they're easier to find, they're easier to match with things. So I like making a physical mood board and kind of laying the pictures out.
Yeah.
And that gives you an opportunity, you know, just like a cork board is perfect.
Yeah.
Gives you an opportunity to take it round to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start to choose materials, you know, when you choose your flooring or the paint colour and things, you can start to lay them and just make sure they work with your original vision.
Yep.
But also you've got the opportunity to move that around the house because, as you know, when the colour changes so vastly between the front of the house and the back of the house, depending on natural light, and it allows you to go, oh, in this room it throws a bit of pink and in that room it doesn't throw much pink and that's not really the right white for me and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's also just a great communication tool because we're not always great at articulating what we like. We're better at articulating what we don't like than what we like. And it allows you to say, this is what I want. This is what I want it to look like. This is how it feels. And there's less chance for miscommunication, I think.
It's so important to share a mood board with the trades and the people who will be working on your home. I did a presentation last year where we had a few keywords. I think it was the design brief had wall paneling, modern classic interior, blue accents, and then I showed the audience 2 completely different houses. They look nothing alike.
But
they both tick the boxes. And I think it just illustrates
how wrong it can go.
The importance. Show them what you mean.
That is such a great example. I might steal that. I'll credit
you,
but
You're
I'll
welcome.
use it. Because it's so true. And it's such a great visual representation because it is really hard to articulate what you want.
Yeah.
Because most of us are very emotionally driven.
Yes.
So it's about how it feels. And we think people understand that, but unless they've got that same vision, it just doesn't work.
Pains me to say this as a journalist, but a picture really does
tell 1,000 words.
Tell 1,000 words.
Yeah. Have a great caption tells a lot about the picture though.
It does.
Yes.
Wendy, you clearly have done so many things. You do so many things. And I know there is a question that you really don't like getting asked. So I'm going to ask not the question, but why. The question is, how do you do it all? And why does that annoy you?
since I started selling houses, I think selling houses feels like a full-time job. And then I had this really massive job at Foxtel, which was that was more than a full-time job.
And you're doing these at the same time.
And I'm doing them same time. And, I've got kids and I worked really, really hard. And I think in a way I kind of burnt myself out a little bit. I didn't really realize until after that. And people would kind of say, I don't know how you do it all. And it's a bit of a flippant kind of thing. And it just it ended up really pissing me off because I found that my natural response was to lie and say that I'm okay.
Yeah.
Or diminish what I was doing. Like, oh, it's not that much or,
Yeah.
And like I have an amazing husband who, does the majority of the cooking and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm definitely not doing it all by myself.
Yeah.
But I found that's what I was doing. I was talking up everyone else and I was diminishing what I was doing and ended up, almost kind of putting myself down.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to sound like, oh, yeah, I am doing it all. And
No,
in
you
reality,
don't.
I was, but I was just.
At what cost?
Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah.
I was really tired. And it was hard because I loved all of the things individually.
Yeah.
But it was too much. And, it's funny because I felt like I worked really hard at being at home and I was, if I wasn't traveling for selling houses, which isn't that much, I was at home every night for dinner and making sure I was around the dinner table with, my children and my husband and taking them to school when I could, and which was most days, and having those kind of moments. And I thought I'd worked really hard at being present. And then when I finished up at Foxtel, I kind of had, a bit of a wind down time. I didn't stop working completely, but kind of, for a month or so before Christmas, I kind of wound down a bit. And I had that moment, which was uncomfortable, which was I wasn't as present as I thought I was. Not that I think I did a crap job or anything, but I was working really hard at being present, but I was still distracted. And, I'm not angry with myself about that. It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
But I think we tell ourselves these things to get through it.
Yeah.
And
then you get through it.
Yeah.
And then you look back and.
Yes. And nobody ever asks a man how they do it all.
No.
Never.
They don't.
No. I mean, and like I work with Dennis, my co-host, and Andrew less so because he's pretty good at doing nothing, but Dennis is a really
that's Andrew Winter.
Yeah, Andrew Winter, very good at doing nothing. I'm very proud of it, unapologetic. Dennis is running his own business as well.
Yeah.
And, he's doing selling houses and he's got kids and nobody ever asked him. They never said that to him, how are you doing it all? And
wow.
And I don't know, you do kind of feel like you have to justify yourself, like I'm not being a bad mum and I'm not dropping the ball here. And the reality is, of course, I'm dropping the ball.
Yeah.
I'm always dropping the ball, like all the time.
And I'm tired.
And
sometimes a bit crabby.
Don't be nice to me because I might cry and that's embarrassing, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. With the tiredness, do you have structure in your life? Are you a planner? Are you a routine person? Is there something that you have in your mind that rely on to get you through?
Yeah, look, I think there's a few things. I think you have to forgive yourself for not being perfect.
Yeah.
And I think, like for me, I have these moments where I want to be present for my children, but at the same time, I think if I'm present 100% of the time, then what am I telling them about what they're going to do when they grow up?
Yeah.
Are they going to have to be present? And I don't want that for them.
Yep.
So I keep reminding myself, I want this opportunity for them.
Yeah.
So I have to show them that it's possible.
Yeah.
But I want to be honest about it. Like I don't want to pretend that everything's amazing. And if people ask me, I'm more honest now and just say, well, yeah, I drop a shitload of balls all the time. And I think you have to be honest. And then this year I kind of had this mantra, and I can imagine you're very similar to this, that you get excited about doing projects and you can see what you can do and you want to get involved. But my mantra for this year is just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And I think you have to allow yourself, and you hear it all the time, it's not just about saying no, it's about not throwing yourself into absolutely everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't remember my parents being present for me 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever felt unloved. I'm
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
They didn't screw me up. I'm okay. So I just, I think you just got to take a step back. And,
Yeah.
and I used to kind of say this a lot, is what's going to matter in 5 years?
Yeah.
If I do this or I don't do this, how am I going to feel about it in 5 years?
Yeah.
Am I going to forget this moment or am I going to regret this moment?
Yeah.
And if I'm going to forget it, just let it go. It doesn't matter.
That is such good advice for everybody listening. It's to really look at the to-do list and the opportunities. And it's not how do you do it all. It's you don't have to do it all.
You just really don't.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is most people don't notice when you're doing it all anyway. So if you don't do it all, they won't notice that either.
There's another comment that I don't like, and that is, oh, you're so lucky to do that job. And I think it's
the harder
a privilege.
I work, the luckier I get.
Yes, but exactly. The harder you work, the luckier you get. It's funny that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is an absolute privilege doing this job.
Yeah.
Especially after icons such as yourself having done it as well. It is just amazing. And Wendy, I just can't thank you enough for coming back and joining me today to reminisce about Home Beautiful, but also look at the future. I'm so excited for your
it's
next
lovely.
chapter.
And, I've always, every time I pick up the magazine, I just know you love it. And I love, like, when you love something like that and then you see other people love it, like, it's just they become your people. But also, I don't know, it just feels good to see something because it's such a beautiful magazine. It's special. And, like, yes, we are incredibly lucky, but it didn't fall into our lap. Like, I know how hard you worked. I saw your career before you got here. Like,
Wendy, you're my people.
You're my people. Thanks, Elle.
I feel like we've just had a masterclass in reinvention. And to be honest, a reminder that curiosity and creativity don't have an expiry date. And great news, Wendy's coming back for another episode where we're going to step inside her own home, talk renovation regrets and the houses that she loves the most. We'll also solve a few design dilemmas from our listeners, so stay tuned. This is The Edit, your style, your sanctuary, and a little inspiration to take into the rest of your day. This episode is brought to you by Luxaflex, transforming homes with beautiful, functional window coverings designed to transform your light and lifestyle. Thank you to Oz Design for our beautiful set. Come and visit the experienced team in store and see the collection for yourself.
This is an R Media podcast.